One of the interesting things that I've loved about my career is I've always, whenever I do something, I always do the opposite of what I've just done. I try and do the opposite genre. If I do a musical, I do a vampire thing. If I do a horror thing, I do some sort of fighter procedural. I've always loved that ability to sort of float between ideas. And the fun part about the show is it really, and I think everybody can relate to it, because whether you believe it or not, we all have images. Everybody has an image. And everybody is sort of put in a lane based on how they look, how they behave, and the human condition that we also deal with in the show is to have people say, no, I'm more than that. I'm not what you think I am. I actually have a hidden reservoir. So we'll start with you, Ev. In your life, have you ever, because of how you are, how you look, which is the theme of the show, have you ever been denied or got something based on your image, how you look, your physicality?
They don't catch me in the good guy much.
And speaking of that, you know, Evan and I have worked together since literally God was a boy. And one of the things, he does these wonderful characters for me, and I think he's so satisfied because he's like, you know, wants to be dark and brooding, and then halfway through he's like, I fucking hate this, and I want to do a rom-com, and I want to be light, and I want to get the girl. So when I was working on this with my co-creator Matthew Hodgson, I was like, I want Evan to play this part because he gets to be Steve McQueen and get the girl and win. So let's go, Evan! So I think that this will be an exciting show for people to see, because you will not be villainous in any way at all. In fact, ultimately you make this amazing sacrifice for love, which is the first time in your career you get to play that. Can you talk about that? The hero's journey.
The hero's journey?
And why was this different for you? Because you wanted to do a part like this.
Yeah, it's a challenge in its own right, but yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about Rebecca? How about you? How about, you know, getting a job or losing a job that you were disappointed and you felt like I'm more than that, see me for more than what I am?
Oh, definitely. I've definitely got jobs because of how I look in a good way, and I've definitely not got jobs for being too tall, actually. That is the thing that I came across at the beginning of my career, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, not so much now. I think it's kind of okay, apparently, for women to be tall, but when I started, apparently, no.
Yeah. Anthony is the same thing, so, you know, I've loved Anthony's work on Broadway. And this was this kind of an amazing show because I'm lucky enough that I have this little black book, and when I'm working on something, I always have first choice. And all of these people were my first choice for these roles. And they all said yes, I wanted to work with all of them. And when I was talking to you, Anthony, and I described the role of this lethal assassin who wears black leather Tom Ford and has a silver eye patch, you were just like in, and you interrupted me and said, that's it, I'll do it. Like, I don't remember there was too much, but you had wanted a part like this too, which also goes against expectation. You know, and I've always known you to be a great actor. Can you talk about that, this role for you? How was it different?
I think it's different. I've never played an assassin, so it was fun, you know. But it was also fun diving into the character. Obviously, I don't want to give away any spoilers, right? Very specific details about this guy, but I was like, wow, he's so interesting. He's also, you'll see, you know, there's stuff going on with his face, and he's got an eye patch, and he's wearing a leather jacket, and he's killing them. You know, like, so it was. I just was so excited to dive in. Yeah, I was FaceTiming you from like a hotel room in the Canary Islands or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Yeah. What about you, Mr. Pope? What have you gained or lost based on image?
I mean, it's interesting because I think for me, moving to New York and pursuing to be an actor, early on I remember feeling like I wasn't rough enough to play the black man in this da-da-da-da-da. So you then kind of feel like you're jeopardized because I got hazel eyes, and so you're like, I don't know, it's an interesting thing. because I remember growing up, I was praised by people like, oh, you don't have the pretty eyes, but then that became something that wasn't getting me into rooms and getting me opportunities. But I think what we get to do here in this show is it's a show that it's aware of itself. It has these extremes and it has such a wide range of genre. But when we're talking about the beauty, what I appreciated about me playing the role of Jeremy was that I got to just find a bit more nuance and color in the exploration of what it means to be beautiful and how we define that personally. And like Rebecca was saying, like, who's the judge of that beauty? So yeah, like Evan said, it's been a lot of fun.
I don't want to give too much away, but we were shooting it, and I was directing the pilot, and there was one day where Jeremy had a scene. I was like, I don't think we got it, I want to come back. So Jeremy came back, and on that day, Jeremy, you were covered in 30 pounds of KY lubricant. Can you talk about that?
I was.
You were.
I was.
There was a shortage. We bought all the lube in New York
We did.
for this scene.
Sorry to anyone who was
Petroleum jelly, but you know, we don't want to give too much away, but like in terms of, I remember we had a moment, we were like, well, I've never done that before. That was, talk about.
We checked that off the bucket list for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Only you, Ryan. Only you.
But I liked it because it was a science fiction scene. It goes on for a long time. It's kind of cool to do new things like
I mean,
that.
I had a good time. I had a good time in the jelly.
How did
Body
you
full of lube.
How did you get it off?
It's still coming off, man. I still got
Look at how moist his skin looks right now.
See this glow?
I come from nothing.
And then there's, you know, Mr. Ashton, who I've wanted to work with forever, and I just thought, God, you know, who would be better than for this part? Because you've never had a part like this. I think none of you have ever had parts like this, where you play a, I think, very hilarious supervillain, I'll just call that. Have you ever been offered anything like that before in that world?
No, which is exactly why I said yes. I think like every role you get, part of it is what you look like, right? This is a very big part of what you're imbuing as the character. And so there are roles that I've gotten because of the way I look, and there are roles that I haven't gotten because of the way I look. And you know, sometimes it's frustrating. You're like, wait, no, I can play this character. I'm this character, and they're like, nah, you don't look like you're down on your luck. And I'm like, yeah, but I am. They're like, yeah, but it wouldn't be sympathetic for you to be down on your luck. And I'm like, yeah, no, but I can make it look like that. And they're like, no, it just doesn't work. And then having worked on the other side and produced things, it very much is a thing. You're trying to tell a story with pictures. And the pictures need to create a feeling for the audience. And so when this role came along, and without giving away too much, almost every one of us has an incredibly nuanced role where in some way, shape, or form we're playing something that we are or we aren't at a given time. And it creates this underlying ability to embody insecurities that you may have, that you hide away and you push down and you don't let anyone in the world see. But when you get to play this character, or a character that is so brilliantly written as the characters that you've given us all to dive into and embody, you get to let that fly. And it's this like exhilarating, really fun thing to do as a performer. Because so often today, you only get to play your lane and nothing else. Because playing anything else goes against the values that society has projected upon what people should play and shouldn't play. And so when you get to play these like complicated, nuanced characters, it's a delight. And playing this character has been one of the great delights of my career.
Oh, great. That makes me feel good. I mean, I thought that about him. I mean, I've had deep admiration for everybody on this panel. I've worked with only two of you before. Now, we're doing Monster Season 4 that Rebecca Hall is in. Lizzie Borden, so that's really exciting. So right now we have a little clip for you guys. One of the things that I also wanted to do in my career, which I had never done before, a little bit with Eat, Pray, Love, but not a lot, nobody got killed, was to do sort of a big international scope, because I sort of feel like that's the future of streaming. People want big experiences, they want to go big or go home. So I think we have a clip here. And in this, Evan and Rebecca are in Venice, where we shot for a long time. And they are playing Cooper and Jordan, FBI agents who are investigating the mysterious deaths of models around the world. This is not a model that exploded. This was a model that was taken out for various nefarious reasons. So let's hit that clip.